37-34. We'll be right back.
From Giants Stadium in the Meadowlands, Fox Television Sports presents the National Football League as today the Philadelphia Eagles take on the New York Giants. The NFC East getting crowded now. The Eagles and Giants both winning overtime games last week. Eagles have won 2 consecutive games. The Giants, after an 0-3 start, have won 2 of their last 3. And a pleasant good afternoon, everyone. Kevin Harlan alongside Jerry Glanville for the Eagles and Giants. Jerry, great rivalry. Let's talk about the Giants. You think the key today may be Rodney Hampton.
Rodney Hampton is the key today. He has to be able to run that football, Kevin, get 25, 26 rushes, average 4 yards a carry. That'll force the Eagles to play man-to-man on the outside and allow Dave Brown to hit the big pass. We like the Philadelphia Eagles because they've improved so much over the last couple weeks. You like, in particular, their offense and their defensive play. Their offense and their defense have adopted the head coach's philosophy. You can see his attitude permeating through the whole squad, but not true with special teams. Their kick coverages are awful. It's like they got a flat tire and they're out of gas, and it could cost them some games down the road and maybe even today. That is something we'll be watching for today. It's the Eagles and Giants coming up. We'll be back for the opening kickoff when Fox NFL Sunday continues after these messages from your local Fox station. Good job, boys. Thank you. Thank you. A windy day at Giants Stadium, East Rutherford, New Jersey, with Jerry Glanville, Kevin Harlan. Down to our third member of our crew, we welcome in Pam Oliver. Pam?
Hey, Kevin, all you got to do is take one good look at this head, and that'll give you a pretty good idea about the windy conditions here today. Winds are gusting at about 15 to 20 miles an hour, although they feel much stronger. I talked to both kickers. They said the most important thing for them to do is just to get a good strike on the ball, not get too wrapped up in the windy conditions. Back to you.
Thank you. And Jerry, that could play a huge factor today because both the Giants, as you see Brad DeLuiso teeing it up, second in the NFL in touchbacks, and he'll be kicking deep back to Calvin Martin along with Charlie Garner, 2 real impressive players returning. But both these teams, Jerry, have had kickoff problems this season.
They really had problems with the entire kicking game. In fact, Haran, the punter for the Giants, has only forced 2 fair catches for the entire season, which has to be an all-time low. So special teams have not done well for these 2 clubs so far this season.
Evidence of how the wind is blowing here in the Meadowlands, indicative with the ball just blowing off the tee for DeLuiso, and now he will have one of his players, Willie Beeman, holding it on the kickoff by the Giants. Full house as always. Here we go, the Giants and the Eagles. What a traditional matchup this is. And Calvin Martin lost it, picked up by Garner, who takes it up the middle and is out to the 26-yard line, where the Eagles will begin things first down and 10. Rodney Peete, USC All-America, went to the Detroit Lions where he was a part-time starter. Backed up Troy Aikman last season, signed as a free agent this past year with the Eagles. And on the line, rookies Barrett Brooks, McIntyre, the veteran, McKenzie, Joe Panos in his second year, and Antone Davis, the right tackle. Ricky Waters and McCrary, the running backs. Barnett and Williams, the wide receivers. And 34-year-old Ed West will be the tight end. 3 wide receivers for the quarterback, Peete, who on first down and 10 throws a pass out to Ed West, the tight end, who is out to the 30-yard line and brought down by the second leading tackler on the Giants, Michael Brooks. Giants go with a 4-3 base defense. They got Michael Strahan on the outside. Agnew comes from the New England Patriots. Hamilton moves inside, and Robert Harris is the former Minnesota Viking. Buckley starts in place of Corey Miller with Brooks and Kroll on the linebacking slate, with Randolph, Glenn, Campbell, and Philippi Sparks in the secondary. Gain of 3 on the first down. It's second down and 7. And Ricky Waters takes it out to the 34-yard line, brought down by Robert Harris. Waters coming off a career day last week when he ran for more yards and caught for more passing yards than at any other time in his career.
And that was a simple cutback play, not a play. And people talk about the West Coast offense. The running game is not like the 49er running game. It's a power cutback running attack, and it's an I formation, which never happens on the West Coast.
Third down and 3, and the ball resting at the 34-yard line. Looks like Rodney Peete is changing the play.
A little audible here.
And Peete with that short 3-step drop gets away, has to get to the Back at the 37-yard line, and he is very close to a first down as Michael Brooks finally brought down Rodney Peete, who has replaced Randall Cunningham as the starting quarterback. He started the last 2 games, and he has brought home 2 Philadelphia wins. And there's Cunningham, who, Jerry, was the topic of a great deal of conversation this week in the NFL with the possibility of a trade, maybe even to Arizona.
I think people thought there'd be a little more action with him and maybe in the entire league, but there was absolutely no trades at the deadline in the whole league. And I think people are just going to play with what they got for this year.
So the Eagles do get the first down. As Ray Rhodes and Randall Cunningham and the brain trust for the Philadelphia Eagles watching from the sideline. That's Jay Fiedler, who is on the headset up top to Gruden, the young 31-year-old offensive coordinator for the Eagles. So first down for Philadelphia on the first drive of the game near the 37-yard line. Got Fred Barnett in motion, and a handoff. Second time goes to Ricky Waters, and he's out to the 41-yard line. Dillard and Jesse Campbell there for the Giant defense.
And again, that's straight ahead power football. That's a lead play where they're just coming right at the defense. And that's the difference between the Eagles and if you think it's West Coast or 49. The 49ers have a small offensive line. It's traps. It's outside plays where the Eagles will bring it right at you with a big, strong offensive lineman.
Opening drive of the game, second down and 6 yards to go from the 41 of Philadelphia, just underway here at the windy Meadowlands, Giant Stadium. And Pete will test that wind. Swings it out to the rookie McCrary, who is brought down immediately at the 43-yard line. Hammered by Marcus Buckley, starting today in his first NFL start along with Michael Brooks.
And Michael Strahan trying to put pressure on the quarterback. He's the Giants' best pass rusher, but when you bring the ball out on the third step, it's hard to get any pressure on the quarterback.
Dan Reeves, and now his 3rd season with the Giants, went for an interesting year a season ago where they had lost 7 and won their final 6. This year they begin 0-3, and now they've won 2 of their last 3. His defense rears up for a 3rd down and 4 with no score in the first quarter. Pete with pretty good time, looking for his second option, and throws the pass to Calvin Williams, and they have ruled it a completion and a Philadelphia first down at the 44 with a nice pickup of 13 yards. He beat Jesse Campbell.
And that was hard to tell whether the ball bounced or not. Everybody looked around. But the Giants are playing all zone. They passed everything off, let everybody go up underneath, and then the ball, nice catch. What a catch. Good call by the officials.
7th play of the drive. Ricky Waters becomes the receiver at the bottom of your screen. In fact, he's outside the numbers. Charlie Gardner has come back in. And Gardner hurdles a defender, takes it inside the 40, and is down to the 39 of New York, where Michael Brooks made the first whack at him.
And audibilizing again on the running game. So when he sees the Giants will play an over and under, which means one of the guards is covered and one is not covered by a down lineman. And what he's doing, he's looking down. When he sees a guard that is not covered, there's only a linebacker there, he's audible into the run to what they call the soft spot.
The interesting thing about the 24 points they've allowed, they went over 35 quarters in a couple seasons without allowing any opponent to get any points on any initial drive. Second down and 5 at the 39-yard line. And the handoff goes to Ricky Waters. He takes it inside the 35 and to the 33 and very close to an Eagle first down. He was sprung free by Guy McIntyre.
And here's what's different about the Eagles. More formations, more power plays. Here's the tight end. He's going to go in motion, and then they're going to power right off the guard. It's not a sweep. More formations, I'd say, than the backside guard pulling up through there, and Ricky Waters cutting up inside.
Almost like a little window dressing, a little decoy, huh?
I think it's the same plays, but I think it's probably 50% more formations. Here they are again with 2 tight ends and 1 tight end off the ball.
First down and 10 for Pete, going to the air again and hesitating. Halftime, and now he runs. He's got to get inside the 25, and he fumbles the ball, and it's loose. And out of bounds it goes without a clear possession by the Eagle that was chasing it, and that was Raleigh McKenzie, but it is Philadelphia's ball. Vincey Glenn knocked it away, and the Eagles retain possession.
And he's holding on to his right hand and his elbow. I believe Pete is hurt. There goes Cunningham to warm up. I think he got his elbow in his hand. And it was a nice play by Pete. They got him all the way in the field goal. He's got the ball in his hand. He's off and running. He tucks it away. Oh, just slid right out. I think he hurt his right elbow. Never got hit. The ball just slid out. And then when Robert Harris fell on him, he was already on the ground. I think Robert Harris, big defensive end, fell on him, and I think that's what hurt his elbow in his hand.
So they take a look at Rodney Peete on the Philadelphia sideline, and the game's opening drive, and a timeout has been taken as Randall Cunningham continues to warm up on the sideline, and they take a look at Rodney. Looking at his eye, first of all.
And that was Ortho Davis, the trainer, who slid his hand up underneath the pad. What they're looking for to see if there's up in the right shoulder. Took his hand out of there. They're looking to see if there's a separation, if there's any bone sticking up. Now the ball is fumbled without contact. That ball, he just was carrying it improperly. But now watch big Robert Harris, 97, fall on him right there, and the arm was tucked up underneath him.
Rodney Peete has had his arm and eye and maybe everything else examined on the sideline, and he has gone back out onto the field, and Randall Cunningham continues to warm up just in case. Right now, Peete will face the dime secondary, dime scheme of the Giants, 6 defensive backs. It's second down and 14 from the Giant 38 for Philadelphia. And Rookie Waters takes it to the 31-yard line. Picks up a nice chunk there. And the tackle made by Willie Beeman, assisted by Philippi Sparks.
And that's a good call. They're trying to get back in the field goal position. So they got 4 wide receivers with a draw. And they have daylight because there's so many wideouts, so they make the defensive backs come in there. Philippi Sparks has to come in and make the play. Now they're in field goal range. Now they can go on try to make the first down because they're in field goal range if they get an incompletion.
8:45 remaining in the first quarter. Eagles on the game opening drive. Third down and 8 from the Giant 32. Hit once and brought down. Sacked by Jamal Duff. The 6th-round pick out of San Diego State. His first NFL sack.
And you told me during the week Duff was going to have a good game. That's a good call, Kevin. And this chases him out of the field goal range. Good play. 96. Oh, they just busted the block in there. It looks like Joe Pano should have blocked to the outside. They doubled down inside and just turned the man loose. Busted play by the offensive line for the Eagles.
Tom Hutton leads the NFC in punting at 45 yards per punt. He'll be dealing with the wind on a high snap, and deep back is Arthur Marshall. This will go inside the 10 and not saved by the Philadelphia Eagles. They made a valiant try at it. Nate Dingle, who is a reserve linebacker, was there as Rodney Peete continues to have his eyes looked at. Beautiful view of the surrounding area from the MetLife blimp. Here we've got Philadelphia and the Giants with a scoreless tie. Giants getting it for the first time today. 8:07 remaining in the first quarter. It's first down and 10 from the 20-yard line on the touchback on the punt by Philadelphia's Tom Hutton. And a fake to Rodney Hampton. Good time for Brown, going deep for receiver Mike Sherrard, and it's incomplete. So it'll be second down and 10. Dave Brown just flung it long, dealing with the big win last week over Arizona. And it'll be protected by John Elliott, Greg Bishop, Brian Williams, Lance Smith, and Doug Riesenberg, the right tackle. Rodney Hampton is starting, although with the broken hand, along with Herschel Walker, Sherrard and Callaway, the receivers, and Howard Cross is the tight end. And on second down and 10, it's a gain to the 23 by Rodney Hampton. Leading rusher on this ball club, Andy Harmon, who had a ton of sacks last week, 3, and Mike Mamula were there with the stop. And on that line, 2 new faces today. Dixon and Stubbs, out of football a season ago, back up starting today with the rookie Mamula, and Andy Harmon had 3 sacks a week ago in their win. William Thomas, Kurt Gavea, and Bill Romanowski will be the linebackers, with Taylor along with McMillan the corners, and Jackson along with Michael Zordich the safeties. Third down and 8. 3 wide receivers, and they blow that dead. Jumping early was John Elliott, Jumbo Elliott, on that left tackle position.
Daniel Stubbs coming in there throwing the quarterback down, but not hard. He wasn't trying to hurt him, so they'll let that go. The Giants are pointing to the Eagles, and the Eagles are pointing to the Giants.
Neutral zone infraction, 59 defense, 5 yards, repeat third down.
Mike Mamula, the rookie, is guilty.
He jumped